story this week. At a time when the growth in the world is already weakening, US President Donald Trump has said that he will impose new taxes on hundreds of billions of dollars of Chinese imports. Washington further designated China as a currency manipulator. Beijing has hit back, saying that the US's tactics were nothing but trade bullying, and added that it is halting the purchases of US farm goods. Now, as the US-China trade war rapidly turns into a full-fledged economic war, analysts warn that the Sino-American conflict is not playing out in the vacuum and that economies around the world are suffering from investment volatility, supply chain uncertainty and currency fluctuations, and that a global recession may be on the cards.
US-China trade war escalates. Washington on Monday branded Beijing a currency manipulator for the first time since 1994 and said it was imposed 10% tariffs on the remaining $300 billion in Chinese imports starting on 1st September. This comes on top of the $250 billion that US President Trump has already hit with 25% import taxes. Global markets Monday reacted negatively to Trump's threat. US stocks plunged. European stocks also responded negatively. However, Trump says his tough stance on China's economic and trade policies would ultimately benefit the American economy.
Our country is doing incredibly well. China is not doing well. If you look at the trade situation, China just admitted yesterday that they've been a currency manipulator. First time they've ever been called out. Companies are moving out of China by the thousands, and our country is doing very well. We're going to see how it all works out.
Chinese yuan currency also on Monday fell to its lowest level against the US dollar in more than a decade. Beijing signaled it would strike back by curbing sales of chemicals known as rare earths that are used in everything from iPhones to military equipment. Beijing added it is also halting purchases of US farm goods. China says US Treasury Department labeling China a currency manipulator was trade bullying.
体现了美国的善变、任性和蛮不讲理。
The US's accusation further reflects their fickleness, willfulness and irrationality. They are trying to put more pressure on China in the name of currency manipulator.
事实上，思想以汇率操纵国之名。
Despite the punches from both sides, White House officials say they still expect Chinese negotiators to come to Washington in September for talks, and that the latest tariffs could still be averted if the world's two largest economies make progress on a trade agreement. But hopes for a deal are dimming. Goldman Sachs on Tuesday said it no longer expects the US and China to reach agreement before the November 2020 presidential election, given the harder line being pursued by both sides.
I think certainly these actions have made it increasingly unlikely that we're going to see any type of meaningful trade deal over summer. I was certainly hoping that we were going to see progress there, and there's a significant risk now for escalation of trade tensions.
Experts warn the heightened hostilities could hobble world economic growth by depressing financial markets, discouraging trade, and elevating uncertainty for businesses trying to decide whether and where to situate factories, buy supplies, and sell products. The International Monetary Fund in July predicted global growth would slow to just 3.2% this year, the world's softest showing since 2009. Experts warn that a full-blown global recession is in the cards if the US-China trade war continues to escalate. Bureau Report, RSTV.